evening, SRA Nation.
We're excited to get this season off with a bang.
I think they're all taking tires. And on top of that, it's going to be saucier. It's going to be an all-out shootout to the end. He's got line of sight on these guys.
I commend you for the bravery. He's getting this close to the diffuser.
All you gotta do is win the race. You don't have to lead a whole bunch of laps.
Oh, they're going to be side by side going into the next corner.
Oh, that's a big contact in the back of the field.
Can't stay out there like this.
He stayed in it!
We're off and away for SRA.
Hello everyone, welcome to Season 10, Division 6, Round 4, Indianapolis. I am not Darren. This is Dan Rufus coming to you as your broadcaster tonight. I'm happy to be a guest announcer in place of Darren. I raced last night. Some of your competitors as you move down the back straight into turns 8 and 9. As you move around the back of the course, it's still a mix of fast sweeping corners into tight chicanes. Really important for the drivers to really pay attention and make sure they maintain car control as they go through these corners. Before we get started on this race, I want to a huge thank you to our SRA sponsors and title sponsors for supporting us here at SRA, as well as support from Documise, a modern business solution for product management. Go to documise.com to learn more today. And support from Retro Saga, a North American-based gaming company that provides accessories for your favorite classic systems, including Nintendo, Sega, PlayStation, and much more. Enhance your retro gaming experience today at retrosaga.ca. And a big thank you to our affiliates. Track Racer. Experience redefined gaming with Track Racer's high-quality sim rigs and accessories. Use code SRATE at checkout to support us. Armamentario, a toolbox for ACC that will enhance your chance to win. Enjoy a fully customized and enhanced HUD to change the way you experience ACC. AT3D Sim Shop. Upgrade your sim racing experience with premium 3D printed accessories, featuring precision crafted magnetic shifters, sleek cable management solutions, versatile stream deck mounts, and immersive dashboard displays. Their innovative designs enhance performance and style. Elevate every lap with top tier quality and craftsmanship at at3d.net. And go to Go Setups. Premium esports setups for everyone. Use our affiliate link on our Discord and take your drive to the next level. So as these individuals continue to practice prior to qualifying, let me bring up the current standings. So it's really exciting here at the top in Division 6. We really have a bunch of great racers like Mancini, Pizzuto, Warren, and Rich really leading the top four. A really close race this season's standings. As we move through the rest of the standings, we still maintain a high degree of points all the way through our position number 40. Let's take a look at the teams. Again, a really nice tight battle. Just like in D5, we have our teams tightly close at the top of the leaderboard, with Planet of the Apex and generically themed racing team leading the way. I hope to see that TC8 racing team and Prancing Sloths can also win some points tonight and maybe begin to take on their rivals. So as qualifying begins, let's settle in for an exciting race. The cars are all set up, ready to go. And just some key thoughts from last night's race. As a D Silver driver, really interesting that a D5 Silver driver, really interesting that I actually made pole. Probably my best lap of the entire season from nowhere to get pole position, where the second place driver came in 0.05 seconds behind me. So really exciting start to the race. As the cars get ready, looking forward to some fast lap times today for qualifying.
Green light, go, go, go.
Our first cars are trundling down the pit lane. A really long time to go 50, I'm guessing miles per hour because we're in the United States, but a really slow time to really get down to the end where they're going to line up at the end of the pit. Nice to see a Porsche going out in front. As a driver, I always like being at the head if possible, and let everyone do what they will behind me as I set the fastest lap time, hopefully. Ferrari getting the jump on the Porsche. That's interesting. I would have thought that he would have paused a little bit and waited for his colleague to get underway. But qualifying starts in earnest for the silver drivers. So I don't know who you have rooting for. If you guys are on Discord, feel free to DM me during the race with any comments or comments or thoughts during the race. So it's interesting, with such hot temperatures today, everyone thought that it would be difficult to maintain tires, but many of our drivers took tires after the 30-minute mark. Myself, having been knocked out on the opening lap, took tires early. My tires actually lasted quite long into the race, so it'll be interesting to see if anyone pits early, but more than likely, all of our competitors will pit late. As our first driver, car number 229, Porsche, driven by Mike Heisner, begins the first qualifying lap. If anyone has any comments or questions, definitely reach out at Dan Rufus, DANRUFUS on Discord. I'll be happy to bring up any comments or questions that I get within the DMs. As Heisner goes through these corners here, I really like this corner. I think it's a good, not even a risk reward. I think it's a corner that every good driver needs to be able to conquer. Coming into this hairpin, where he really needs to maintain his speed and not lose a lot of speed and set him up for this next right-hander, which really puts him onto the back straight. And this is where you can really gain a lot of time, both in qualifying and in the race, as many cars will suffer and struggle to get through that last turn there before this long straightaway. You can definitely carry a lot of speed through this corner and then into the S section, which I think is the most fun part of the racetrack. I really enjoy going left, right and then left there, and then sweeping around this long right-hander onto the short straight on the curve before slamming on the brakes again. You see Heisner slamming on the brakes there, and then moving into the left-hand turn where he wants to set himself up for the final corner before he turns onto the straight. So Heisner moving out here with our first pole time of 1:39.095, followed by Rimzik, and then Harris. But definitely Heisner up 5/10 of a second against Rimzik, and even Claymore still can't get there with a 1:39.5. So Heisner definitely setting the early mark at 1:39.095. I'm going to switch to Harris, or Carlin actually, who seems to have the greatest delta to prior time right now. Let's see what Carlin can do here. So Carlin's up 2 seconds almost, one second on his prior time at this hairpin coming onto the back straight. Let's see if he can maintain this time. He's still maintaining a 1.3 second, still slowing down to a 1 second advantage over his prior lap time. While I was focusing on Carlin, Wilkins wound up taking the provisional pole at a 1:38.8 right now. So we'll pick him up on the end of his next lap after we see what Carlin can do here, with 2 more corners to go. Carlin coming onto the main straight. Has lost a bit of time in that final sector. Will only improve a bit to D6 and a 1:40.960. Switch back to Heisner is currently back in first place, provisional pole with a 1:38.7, so ahead of Wilkins, and still improving on that time. So let's switch back to Heisner for a second. As Heisner's lost a little bit of pace, Wilkins is still out in front. They're neck and neck right now, both Wilkins and Heisner on the track. Wilkins driving the Aston Martin, car number 799, and Heisner driving the Porsche, car number 229. Heisner's definitely making up time right now in this sector, and Wilkins is fighting back. Both of them are improving about 0.5 of a second on their prior lap. Let's see Heisner go across the start-finish line. Oh, 2 more corners to go, and then we'll switch to Wilkins. Wilkins is up 6/10 right now. Heisner losing a little bit of time, up 4/10 on his prior lap. Rimzik comes out of nowhere with a 1:30.59 to take provisional pole, and then Heisner passes him with a 1:38.187. Let's switch to Wilkinson, see where he is on track, and see if he can take provisional pole. He's currently up 7, almost 8/10 on his prior time, which would give him a 1:37, a high 1:37, and likely provisional pole right now with 2 corners to go. Seeing Wilkins come onto the final straight, and he takes it Wilkins with just above a 138, 138.01 to take provisional pole right now for the silver drivers. Rimzik is doing the best right now on track. He's about 0.28 seconds above his prior qualifying time, which will put him somewhere around second place right now in qualifying. Let's see what he can do this lap. If he holds this together, he has a high chance of, oh, and he goes a little wide there on that turn. So he likely has lost about 1/10 of a second, 5/10 of a second, and won't be qualifying any faster this lap. Go get him next lap, Rimzik. So right now at the top of the order, we have Wilkins and Heisner about 0.2 of a second away from each other, then Ryan about 0.3 seconds off of the provisional pole. So definitely still some time for them to get out there and put in another fast lap. Let's see who else is improving down here. In positions 12 and 13th, we have both Thibodeau as well as Favreau really making up some time, hopefully move themselves up the order and challenge for 8-9 in qualifying. But right now, the fastest man on track is definitely Heisner. I'll switch to him in his Porsche number 229. So if he maintains this, he's up 0.2 of a second. If he can maintain this time, he'll move into a provisional pole. Wilkins is driving about the same as he did on the prior lap, so we'll see if he can do anything else on the second half of his lap. So as Heisner moves through the S's, he's lost a little bit of time, so he's got a lot to gain on these final few turns if he's going to grab pole from Wilkins. Ryan coming on strong. Let's switch to Ryan here as Heisner's fallen away a little bit. We have Ryan up almost 0.3 of a second, which would give him very close to provisional pole if he can keep this going. We also have Heisner coming back, who's about 0.2 of a second, which would also give him a good chance of provisional pole. Wilkins is not improving on his likely final lap here. So Heisner takes provisional pole by 0.005 of a second against Wilkins. We have Ryan still on track, probably the last chance to make provisional pole unless Claymore does something really special. But Ryan really has a chance to make a difference here if he can hold it all together going to the last few corners. Two more corners to go for Ryan. Hopefully he can keep it together. Definitely in the Nissan with some power. He has a chance. He has a chance. It's going to be close. Oh, Ryan ties Heisner for provisional pole. Same time to the 1,000th of a second. I'm guessing similar to other car racing, Heisner gets the provisional pole right now because he did the lap first. But an amazing end to the silver session with Heisner, Ryan, same time with Wilkins, 0.005 of a second slower. So Heisner in the Porsche, then Ryan in the Nissan, then Wilkins in the Aston Martin, leading the top three for our silver qualifying. And now we're going to switch to our gold drivers. Pick up Lorenzo in his McLaren, I believe leading the charge here as the first gold driver to qualify. He's slowing down tremendously as he comes into the third to last corner. Make sure he gets some good distance and really put the time in. Actually, I think it's Stopa actually leading the charge. Not a tremendously fast lap from him, or from him or her. Apologize, Stopa. And we'll see what they can do. Whoa! Stopa loses some traction there, but keeps the car on the road. Let's see who else is doing a fast lap right now in qualifying. We have Johnston in their Ferrari, car number 239, down 0.2 of a second, up 0.2 of a second. We have Johnson. We don't have anyone really making that much time right now. Stopa actually is the closest, up somewhere around 0.4 on their prior time. Trying to see who's going the fastest right now. I think we got Gilchrist, which has potentially the best time right now. So as the golds come out to qualify, they're going to slot themselves in different places. Right now, Lindo, who we're watching on screen, has the highest time right now for our gold drivers, but still not matching the times of Heisner, Ryan, Wilkins, and Rimzik at the top of the show. Thank you for the comments online, helping me put together the technical aspects of this broadcast. Thank you to CubeMaster and Vince22 for helping me get the broadcast timing up on the left-hand side. You all should see that now on your screens as well. Still maintaining the silver drivers with the top times. As the gold seem to begin to eke into their times, as we see here with Malone and Dismukes. I'm going to stay on Lindo here as they're 0.7 up on their prior time, which would put them in provisional pole right now. Definitely the fastest driver on track, followed by Nicolette, and then likely Gilchrist. So let's follow these drivers as we head through the S's up until the final turns. So definitely Lindo and Nicolette each going to battle each other to see who's going to make provisional pole right now with their two times. Definitely going to put them into the 137s. Johnston's already in the 137s with his Ferrari, car number 239, currently on provisional pole. Let's see what Lindo can do. Lindo goes provisional pole by 0.4 of a second over Johnston, and then goes into the pits. Nicolay comes across almost 0.2 of a second faster, so Nicolay definitely leading the charge here in qualifying with the all-black McLaren. Malone takes it by another 0.1 of a second over Nicolay. Let's switch to Malone. See what they can do on this next lap. Currently equaling their time on the prior lap. Slowing down something off course. Let's go back 30 seconds and take a look. So Dismukes currently fastest on track with Johnston as well. As we see the Ferrari here potentially overcook it at the first corner. Nope, keeps it on track. And then I don't know what happened there. Just drove off track on the second corner. As we go back to live racing, Mancini up there, definitely with a chance to take provisional pole. Let's switch to them in this bright green car. Let's see if Mancini can put the Ferrari on provisional pole. Car number 649. So Mancini's coming onto the back straight, or back short straight, the back part of the oval, as he turns into the last set of tight corners before he can release this Ferrari onto the main straight. Maybe a little bit wide there. Drop some time. Still has a chance if they can put it together on this last corner, but it does not look like they're going to take provisional pole. There's 1 minute left. So all cars on their hot laps, they have 1 minute to cross the start-finish line for one final chance at glory, true pole here in this race to try to beat Malone in the Ferrari. See the Ferraris and the McLarens really driving the top 6 spots here. I'd like to see Dismukes right now in the Porsche, fastest person on track with 4/10 of a second up, 5/10 of a second up on their prior time. If they continue this pace, definitely a chance to take pole, as they're now almost 7/10 of a second up on the other drivers, losing a little time as they come onto the back straight, but still holding it together. Come on, put that Porsche in the top 5, let's say. So everybody basically holding station. Dismukes is really the only car on track, although now falling back, that could have made a massive difference. Lindo still has a chance. I'm going to switch to Lindo, see where they are. Coming onto the back straight, up 2/10 of a second. Can still push for a provisional pole, or for pole, as they move down the end of that back straight. Lindo's definitely our only spoiler here for Malone not keeping pole. So still holding around 0.2 of a second. Let's see what they can do. Well, maybe a little wide there, but still maintaining their speed. Can they do it? One last turn to see if Malone keeps the pole or not. Oh, and Malone keeps the pole by about 0.09 of a second. Gold drivers almost as close as the silver drivers. Still amazing, those silver drivers of Heisinger, Ryan, and Wilkins, all within 0.005 of each other. But great job to all the drivers. Looked like some really fast times out there in our qualifying session. So let's go back to intermission, my fake Darren photo. This is Dan Rufus again. Dan Rufus on Discord. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out. Thanks to all of the fellow colleagues giving me coaching advice on my first broadcast. No one wanted to broadcast with me live, so you get me with a picture of Darren here as our drivers begin to set up their cars for the race. Last night I actually set my tires too cold. I thought I'd be good dropping the PSI a little bit, but my tires were too cold in the race. But really didn't matter given all of the hargy-bargy in the race. So hopefully this is a clean race for all of our folks in D6 tonight. Really looking forward to a clean race. Definitely around lap 1. Really, as always said in drivers' briefings, you can really ruin someone's race very rapidly as you move from the top of the field to the back of the field in a matter of seconds. So definitely take some caution here as we begin the race. Session starting in 1 minute to the parade lap, approximately 1 minute. Again, the gold drivers really taking the top of the order here down to position 7, a mix of Ferraris and McLarens, followed by the Porsche of Heisner, the Nissan of Ryan, and the Wilkins, the Aston Martin of Wilkins, to round out the top 10. The last 3 being silver drivers. Always love those silver drivers making their way up into the top 10. And then you have a group of 3 Porsches. Rich, Fernie, and Dismukes, making up 11, 12, and 13, all gold drivers. I like to see those Porsches attack the top of the field along with Heisner and see what can happen. We have 24 seconds left before the start of the race. I'm going to switch to the live feed, and we're going to see the parade lap take off. I feel like once this race starts, maybe we'll follow Johnston so we can see what the 2 leaders of the race are doing. So let me bring up Johnston's picture. Maybe we'll grab their bumper cam and see what looks like from a racing driver's point of view. We've got Scott in his Ferrari trying to warm up his tires a bit. It's really a balance with having your tires start cold but also not overheat too rapidly. So this will be forever known as both my favorite corner on a racetrack and my least favorite. As I mentioned at the beginning of the broadcast, I had got an unexpected pole position and I got bumped from behind. Turn 1, lap 1, spun around and went from 1st to 32nd, and still tried to fight my way back, and was a fun race, especially in those S's on the back of the track. But also that first turn also gave me my first podium many years ago when the driver in 4th place, or in 3rd place, thought the race was over and drove right through those styrofoam barricades at the end of the front straight, and gave me a 3rd place because they effectively retired themselves. So an interesting corner for me, both happy and sad memories. But definitely never give up. That pole position came out of nowhere. And I think I kept it by 0.05 of a second maybe, as the eventual 2nd place driver came in 2nd, I guess. Also at the start of the race after qualifying. So as these drivers begin to set themselves up for the race, this is always a really exciting part for me. And as the first pole of my career last night, really felt special driving the parade lap, which I always felt was somewhat nonsensical. I'd kind of rather start it about here, so I don't have that. But it was really a nice tribute to all of us, and what you see in races that I've been to, really letting the drivers, parade their awesome machines for the fans to see. So again, as the race begins, don't hesitate to reach out with any questions, comments. Again, Dan Rufus on Discord. Happy to put anyone's comments live into the broadcast, appropriate, of course. But let's see what these first 3 drivers can do as the lights begin to go green here at Indianapolis, round 4, season 10. Johnston getting right up there.
Green light. Go, go, go.
So definitely a better run on the left-hand side of the track from second place, same as last night. We have the pole driver going into the curbing, maintaining second place, losing pole. So we have Lindo in first, followed by Malone. Makes me think, what if they put the pole position on the outside of the track? Maybe that would have been beneficial. But as they begin the lap, we see some initial driving, clean from 1 and 2 with 3. Johnston following suit, trying to keep up with the drivers 1 and 2. Seems like something just happened that I missed with Lindo. Let me go back and see if I can capture that. As Lindo falls down the order precipitously, I can't even click on the instant replay. Let's see what happened to Lindo. So we're getting a replay from the start. Really clean at the start, maybe something all the way in the back, but all the drivers made it through the start quite nicely. And then again, we had Lindo, I believe, in first, going through the corners there. And then we somehow lose them. And sorry, I can't go back further. I lost what happened to Lindo, but Malone still in first place here. As we finish the first lap, followed by Johnston, Nicolette, and Mancini. So if anyone saw it, please ping me what happened to Lindo on that opening lap, but falls all the way down to 34th, losing 32 places. As the drivers settle in, we'll be sure to look at what the most fascinating battles are on track and who's driving the quickest laps. We'll be interested to see the race pace of these drivers versus their qualifying. As we know, that always changes. Drivers get tight when they move to the race. Are some drivers better in qualifying? It'll be interesting to see who has good racecraft and who can pass Malone into first place. Definitely keeping nose to tail here quite close to each other. Seems like Lindo's back on the track. We'll see what they can do the rest of their race. So this could be a good passing area, but I think it's a red herring. Coming into that corner is almost impossible to pass. I think I would try into that first corner, or maybe the tight left on the back, the back of the end of the back straight. But still have Malone leading in 1 with their Ferrari, followed by Johnston, and then Nicolette. Definitely Ryan's in their Nissan really putting on a clinic here with fastest lap. Almost a second faster than the leader right now in that Nissan, number 961, currently in 6th place. See if he can get around the Porsche of Heisner, who's very quick in qualifying as well. So I'd say that I lost out to a Nissan yesterday along some of the straights as my tires went off. So we'll see what Ryan can do to try to pass Heisner in his Porsche with that power of the Nissan down some of these straights. Right now, Ryan has the fastest lap in that Nissan. But it seems like the top 8 or so cars are really close to each other right now. Maybe Heisner falling off a little bit to Mancini, but definitely the top 8 or so pushing themselves together, distancing themselves from the rest of the pack. Let's see maybe Nicolette from the bumper cam to see what can be done against Johnston as that gap has closed to 0.3 of a second between Nicolay and Johnston. McLaren versus Ferrari. Let's see if the McLaren can do anything on this first set of corners here. As Johnston moves to the right to try to get a aim on the first place driver of Malone, can't make it stick. So Ferrari against Ferrari, but Johnston's going to continue. He's going to continue to see if he can make this stick. Continuing on the inside of the track, neither driver yielding until Johnston takes over first place from Malone. An amazing pass. And he's making it stay. Next we have Nicolay. Nicolay also passing Malone. I don't know if it was a mistake by Malone, but let's see what happened there. Maybe from the front camera of Johnston, and see the places that were lost. So coming down the front straight here, you can see Johnston was setting up for that pass. He moves to the inside and then maintains it. You can see there Nicolay trying to give a go as well. Really trying to find a way through, following that Ferrari. But at the end of this, that red Ferrari gets the better of Malone as well as Nicolay. As the order shifts tremendously. Only on the third lap of the race we get 1 and 2 changing at the top of the order. Great racing there between those guys. Next closest battle right now on the track is Heisner trying to target down Mancini here. Let's go to the bonnet cam of Heisner as he tries to make his way past Mancini into that same set of curves. Still hugging tight. Maybe he can't stick to the bumper of that Ferrari as it moves away from him. As we move down the order, Luta seems to have been tangled up with, I don't know the other driver right now, but let's see what happened down here. Just lose it? Oh. Luna might have lost it on the grass there. Sorry, poor replay. I don't know exactly what happened there with Ruta. Let's go look for some other battles on the track. Let's look at Rich right here, coming up on Rimzik. Rimzik, a fast qualifier in our silver class. Rich coming out, seeing people destroy some barricades there. I think that might have been Rimzik, or Rich. Don't know who that was, but we saw some action there as Rich and Rimzik definitely went at it against each other. Drivers are beginning to separate. We're seeing gaps of over a second in many of our drivers, but we still have drivers pushing all over the place, trying to maintain their gaps and improve upon them. Nicolay, let's move to that bumper cam, bonnet cam, as we see Nicolay trying to get to the leader Johnston as we go to the middle of the 5th lap here at Indianapolis. Nicolay, only 0.3 of a second as they go down the back straight here. Let's see if there's going to be a move into this corner. Nope. Holds station, but probably loses a little bit of time there, 0.3 of a second, by not taking the racing line, but maintaining that gap through the curves. Let's see if something can be done into some of these deeper corners here on the back of the track. Nope, we still have Johnston holding station. It seems like Dutton may have had an issue back here, going a little wide, but let's see if there was any contact here with their Ferrari as they dropped a whole bunch of seconds. Going wide. Oh, and then a little bit of contact there with one of the green Ferraris. But still at the top, we're holding station with Johnston, Nicolay, and Malone all within 1 second of each other, followed by Ryan, who's pushing hard against Malone. Let's switch to Ryan right now. Move on to the bonnet cam as we see if Ryan can do anything with Malone coming onto the back straight. Maybe he can get a good drive out of this corner and see what they can do as he moves down to the hard braking zone. Definitely gaining on the Ferrari ahead of him with that Nissan power. Let's see what Ryan can do. Still holds it, he's hanging right on. All over the back of that Ferrari in the S's. Let's see if he can continue this pace and see if he can do anything either onto this back part of the oval or onto the front straight, maintaining 0.4 of a second right now against Malone. Just stick on that bumper and see if he can do something. Oh, it looks like Johnston ran wide up in front. It looks like there's contact between Nicolay and Johnston. We'll see what happens at the end of the straight, but it looks like there's some really tight racing going on at the front of this field with Johnston potentially passing Nicolay. And then we have here Ryan in the Nissan trying to pass Malone. Could be tears or congratulations at the end of this corner as Ryan moves ahead to pull up onto the back of the Ferrari of Johnston. Some great Nissan power there. Let's see if Ryan can now challenge Johnston, coming up tight on the back of that Ferrari, as Johnston had just been passed by Nicolay down that main straight after some contact in the last few corners. So really exciting racing here as Ryan is just pushing on these front two drivers, forcing Johnston to put his foot down and really try to continue the pace there as Johnston is dropping to Nicolay over a second right now. So definitely that McLaren out in front is just losing these two drivers in second and third right now as Ryan overcooks it into that corner and now loses a place to Malone. Wow, it's just so easy to lose your concentration here in Indianapolis and immediately lose places to those drivers behind you who want to capitalize on that. So let's see what this Nissan power can do down this main straight to try to regain that place against Malone, as Ryan's dropped back 0.8 of a second right now against his nearest rival. But that Nissan has some serious power. As long as Ryan can tap that to try to catch up to Malone. But definitely the top 10 is separated by more than 1 second, except for Ryan right now. As we move toward the back of the field, we have a nice bunch of cars, Gilchrist, Wilkins, and Stopa, all back to back with each other. Let's see some of this battle going on up ahead between these four drivers and see what anyone can do to try to pass each other. I'll switch to Wilkins right now as we have the TV cam. Look at that blue and pink Aston Martin. Kind of reminds me of one of those like gender reveal parties there with that car. I don't know if it's going to be a boy or a girl, but maybe it'll finish on the podium. Oh, as I say that, Wilkins goes off track and spins the car. They didn't like those baby comments. Let's go find a closer gap back on track, and we're going to go back to Ryan right now. Maybe we'll watch that from the bumper cam of Malone. Sorry, I meant the wing cam of Malone. And look at Ryan. As Ryan tries to close the gap on Malone, 0.6 of a second away. 0.4 of a second coming down this straight, but that power of that Nissan still can't make up enough gap to reach the Ferrari of Malone as Ryan charges down the back straight. The next closest battle, let's switch up to Dutton. And go to the wing camera of Warren, where we have Dutton 0.3 of a second behind, trying to make a move on the inside. Can Dutton do it? No, that's not the right racing line going into turn 1. And Dutton now drops down to over a second. Let's look at Gilchrist coming up on Garcia. What can we see through the Porsche of Garcia? We see Gilchrist 0.3 of a second behind, trying to make up that difference. They're coming into the hairpin, a decent place for Gilchrist to try to make up some time. But no, that Porsche of Garcia is pulling away as they make their way onto the back straight. But Gilchrist definitely holding on to the back bumper of Garcia. So we're about 43 minutes left of racing. I don't know if anyone's pit. Maybe we had Lindo pit after that unfortunate crash maybe at the beginning of the race, as well as Claymore. But definitely some good battles on track. I'm going to move to the bonnet cam of Rich and see if he can come down this main straight and tackle car 180, 0.6, 0.5 of a second backward. Trying to close that gap up, but can't. So that number 180 Ferrari of Duong Bonglia is still maintaining a 0.6 second advantage against Rich. One of the closest battles we have on track right now, but I'm going to switch to Warren in the AMG. We haven't seen Warren coming up close to the Ferrari, and he hits the Ferrari multiple times, spins that Ferrari, and just keeps trucking along. Didn't see that come apart, but maybe we go back 30 seconds and see what happened there that led to that collision between the AMG and I think the Ferrari. Just pushing hard, that AMG. Just gets too close and just pushes that Ferrari right around. And it looked like the teammate almost collected his own teammate as they spun there. So that's going to be something for the stewards to decide whether car 69 is going to get a penalty nod after that spin there. Got a nice battle brewing here with Wilkins, DC, and Lung. Let's see what these guys are doing out here on track and see what this racing is looking like. It looks like someone's battling right back. We have Lung pushing. Cars seem to hold station there. Let's see what can happen as they move on to the main straight. Been all sorts of fireworks going into the first corner tonight. Let's see what these drivers are going to wind up doing. Got Wilkins 0.1 of a second behind Wong. You can see how much they're piled up back there, nose to tail. Let's see what's going to happen with Wilkins going into turn 1. They're both giving it their all. Wilkins loses out to Wong there, who maintains their position, but Wilkins is right all over the tail. Let's see what's going to happen here. Is Wilkins going to try to make another go at it, or just drop back a little? But definitely Wilkins and Wong is the battle to watch on the track right now. And we'll see if DC, Lung, and Rice can leverage this slower cars that are battling each other to try to get a toe on either of them down this back straight and potentially pass them into the upcoming corner. Got Wilkins closing on Wong there, nothing doing. We have Lung, Rice, Thibodeau all together here. All these drivers right now, good, close racing, no contact, perfect driving from these guys. Really a lot of respect, which is what we like to see here at SRA. That's why I come every week. I don't want to get knocked off track every week. Look at this move here. Nope, not going to stick. Not going to stick. But we race each other. We have a conversation afterwards. We apologize if there are any incidents on track, and we race again next week. That's really the beauty of SRA, as there seems to be some change up at top. Let's move to the top of the race, where we have Dismukes making up a bunch of places. My guess is some individuals may have pit. Without a second commentator, it's hard for me to carry this entire broadcast, but we see Dismukes right now up into 4th place. Definitely a movement there from that driver. Excellent work. With Ryan, Johnston, and Nicolay still in 3, 2, and 1. So definitely some fast drivers up at the top of our leaderboard, with Ryan still maintaining the fastest last lap. So definitely still pushing against the other 2 drivers. And let's see how this all shapes out. I don't know if something happened to Malone. Again, if anyone has wants to play race helper, definitely looking for all kinds of commentary, whether it's race related or technical related. Again, a second thanks to CubeMaster for some commentary on camera choice. Definitely trying to give you guys the best possible race as part of this broadcast. I'm really liking this battle between Ryan and Dismukes right now. Can that Nissan with its power stay ahead of that Porsche with its ability to carve this track up? So really 2 different types of cars battling each other. Really would be nice to see Ryan, to see if he could go through this S section and gain some time, Dismukes gain some time on Ryan as they go through this S section. So this is our closest battle right now on track, other than my super group, number 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Or 15 through 20. I'm going to go to the middle of this group right now with Lung, and with the heli-cam we can see how close these cars are together. Lung kind of in the middle of this pack, just constant probing from these drivers to see if they can get past the person in front of them. Really making for exciting racing. These drivers, in the mid-pack, which often doesn't get the love, but it will on this broadcast. We're going for the best racing possible, and this right now I think on track, at least for my dollars, this is where I want to spend them. It's always funny when I watch Formula One with my wife, and she says, well, Verstappen's winning again as the black car there goes wide and loses a place potentially right there. Why do you care about the mid pack? It's because this is where the racing is. I don't really care if Verstappen wins yet another race or Red Bull. I want to see tight racing and courteous racing, and that's what we're seeing right here with this pack right now. So it looks like some of those folks took a pit, but my 14 to 16 group still continuing that fight against each other, trying to put something through on the inside, potentially losing a place right there as the white and yellow car, I think is of Leung, tries to really move on that Ferrari ahead of him. Excuse me if I get the drivers wrong, but I hope you guys are enjoying this aspect of the broadcast where these guys are literally within 2 seconds of each other. Really the best race again on track right now for our money. Really with Thibodeau pushing. Oh, as there's a little contact there. And it looks like it might have been Thibodeau who lost out on that interchange. Let's go back to the replay and see if we could see what happened here. So it looks like a nice drive for everyone around the hairpin. I'm thinking someone got wide going onto the back straight. Maybe a little bit of accordion effect there, but going wide onto the back straight, 2 of them. That's always that scary part. You're following that driver in front of you. You can't always rely on them to make the right choice. But that red Ferrari survived what could have been a multi-car off right there. So definitely some movement around this group as Thibodeau is continuing to push against these other drivers. Going down the main straight, let's see what's going to happen with Thibodeau and Wang side by side with DC. Who's going to win out on this? Yeah, and it looks like the AMG of Wang loses out with Thibodeau and the McLaren, but DC continuing the push in that Ferrari as they continue that path. And behind them, it looks like we may have had some contact behind us. We may have lost Rice in the battle behind. Maybe I'll switch to that right now and see what happened there. Sorry, I may have chosen the wrong replay. But maybe we can see in the background there what happened to Rice. But it seems like there was definitely some contact and Rice may have lost a few positions, thus ruining my cars that were perfectly back-to-back with each other for many corners. And we have Thibodeau here still pushing on Wang. Loving this battle on track right now. Ferrari versus AMG Mercedes. Let's see who can push through these corners and maybe come out on top. As we watch these two drivers, I'll give a heads up on the front of the pack. We still have Nicolay first, Johnson in second, now coming down to 0.6 of a second. I don't know if Nicolay made a mistake, but we'll go to that battle in a second, followed by Ryan. So it looks as Thibodeau was putting on some moves, but just can't get past Wang in that AMG. Somewhere around 0.6, 0.8 of a second. We'll see if anything can be done here. But then we'll switch to the front where we have Johnston still remaining under a second behind Nicolay. We have Thibodeau coming down the main straight, but I just don't think he's close enough to do anything. So I think they're going to hold station going into turn 1. Let's move up to the front of the pack where Johnston seems to have lost a few seconds to Nicolay, but still pushing, trying to close that gap and see if they can close the gap here. And potentially take over first place. We still have a long race to go. 30 minutes is a long time to go here at Indianapolis. One small mistake can lose you 5-10 seconds. So this race is far from over. And we'll see if there's any pit strategy here. Does Johnson decide to pit first? Or does Johnson wait for Nicolay? It'll be interesting to see if there's any benefit from the undercut here against each other. Duong Bongolo just pitted, currently in the pits. The only person, as far as I can tell, not updating yet on screen, but the only person yet to have pit from the top 10, now updated on screen. All other drivers, as we see, have a spin down there. I couldn't see who that was. There was a white car that spun. Might have been Harris in an AMG. Dropping down right now. I'm guessing it was Harris. Let's see what happened there, if we can capture that. I need to go back a little bit farther, see if we can capture what happened to Harris, hopefully. If I can do that. See if race control likes me. It doesn't seem like it. So we lost Harris there, but right now, if we go back up to Nicolay at the front of the race, still continuing to push that McLaren at the front of the track without letting go. And here we have a little off track from, I think, Dismukes right there, battling against Heisner. Porsche versus Porsche, with Rich coming up behind in another Porsche. Liking this Porsche battle up in front here. Apologize if this isn't a great replay, but let's see if we can see what happened. Dismukes here, maybe going wide. Nope, must have lost where that was on the replay. But gonna go back live. Nicolay has now took the fastest lap of the race with a sub 138. Nicolay pushing in that McLaren. We'll see when they decide to take tires or just continue to maintain it. It seems like Ryan has lost some pace against these two cars along with Heisner. So let's see if any of these cars decide to make the jump and what will happen to them when they shuffle and file back into the rest of the pack. As Duong Bongole, excuse me for that pronunciation, is now dropped from top 10 to 23rd with their pit. Rich pitting as well now, currently in 14th place, as well as DC and Long. My group of fast, close drivers in the back of the pack are all pitting at the same time. There could be fireworks as they all come out onto track together again. That'll be an exciting mid-pack race as all these drivers file back onto the track. But if we move up to the front again, still Nicolay pushing the front of the pack in their McLaren. Loved that car a couple seasons ago. Always wish I could drive it. Loving the Porsche this season, a new challenge. Fun to change cars season per season. I think I'm only dropping divisions, but as my partner Stephanie says, it's all about fun and clean racing, and I agree. If I'm not having fun, there's no point in spending the time on track. I might as well do something else that I find fun. But this is exciting. Exciting to broadcast and watch these drivers battle each other, and also exciting to race. We have Ryan losing some more time and Heisner losing some more time to Nicolette. So definitely the fastest person on track right now. Nicolette, Malone, Rich, Duongole, all pitting now 18, 19, and 20. That's going to shape up to be an interesting battle as the rest of these drivers begin to pit in the front of the pack. When is Nicolay going to do it? We have 27 minutes left. Still the pit window's open for a long period of time. Is it going to be a splash and dash like you do with fuel, but with the tires at the end of the race? Nicolay still up. Fastest lap again. Low 138s with a 138.347. Making crazy time on Ryan and Heisner. There is very little at the front of the pack when it comes to a gap. Just Nicolay pushing that McLaren. Let's drop into Lorenzo in 12th in the pits, along with Acombe and Dutton. This is going to be an interesting group of drivers when they come out. It seems like Johnson's gotten a stop and go. Don't know what that was for. But my closest set of drivers when they come out is going to be this pack of 15, 16, 17, 18. It's going to be interesting to see these drivers as they come out of the pits. Let's take a look at Heisner right now and Dismukes. Both pitting. Heisner pitting. Dismukes pitting. Ryan's pit. Nicolay still out on track. So 2, 3, 4, 5 is pit. 6 is out on track. So it seems like 2, 1, and 6 will now be 1 and 2 after this round of pit stops. We'll see what happens with Gilchrist. If Gilchrist decides to continue to stay out, Gilchrist continues to stay out and maintains a position on track as Gilchrist is likely to move to second place right now. So first place, Vic Nicolay still on track, Gilchrist still on track, followed by Ryan and Heisner pitted. So after this round of pit stops, we're going to see Thibodeau move up. Oh, Thibodeau pits. It seems like this is the time where everyone's pitting, around 25 minutes left in the race. So we're getting a massive group of drivers that are pitting. So we'll see if Nicolay and Gilchrist made the right decision to stay out. Nicolay in the lead of this race right now. We'll see if Nicolay comes into the pits right now as the driver goes off. Luckily doesn't collect Nicolay as the leader of the race. Nicolay goes into the pits. So Nicolay's in the pits. The fastest driver right now on track. Gilchrist has yet to pit. Let's check in with Heisner, who's now leaving the pits. So let's see if the undercut works for Heisner. Heisner leaving the pits. Nicolay currently moving into their pit box. So let's see if Heisner can catch Nicolay. We'll switch to Heisner right now, who's rejoining the track into just behind potentially. I don't know who they're behind right now. But we have Heisner on track, seeing if they can make the undercut work against Nicolay. I wish I had picture-in-picture for you guys, but I can only handle one mouse and one computer at a time. But Nicolay still in the pits. Heisner coming around the hairpin. Nicolay still in their pit box. Heisner coming around the back straight. Let's see what will happen as Heisner makes it down the long back straight into the S's. Heisner may have the chance to make up on Gilchrist, but Gilchrist is, Nicolay. But Nicolay is moving now. It looks like Nicolay will retain second place, potentially first on track when Gilchrist is going to need to pit. Let's go back to Heisner for a second. Heisner is making their way onto the last few set of corners. Nicolay definitely going to continue to maintain that first place on track as they make it to the end of the pit lane. Nicolay still maintaining first on track. Let's see where our provisional first, if you will, on track, because Gilchrist still has to pit. Nicolay has a stop-go. Oh my goodness. Nicolay has a stop-go of 30 seconds. I don't know if that was speeding in the pit lane, but that's a horrendous penalty for Nicolay at this point. Nicolay is now going to lose their first place on track, giving Heisner likely, or Malone actually, likely right now, first place on track after the pit stops, after the penalties to Nicolay and Johnston. Both stop and go 30 seconds. Interesting to know what happened there, but definitely not good for them. So right now, after the stop and goes to Nicollet and Johnston, likely we have Malone and Heisner fighting for the lead of this race and for the win potentially. We're looking at Malone right now on screen. Heisner trying to close 1 second behind. This is the battle for potentially the win of the race, guys, with 22 minutes left in this race. Exciting. I really feel for Nicolay. I wonder if it was a pit lane incident. Oh, and that looks like Malone going off track right there. Let's see what happened to Malone. Looks like Malone just went off track. Maybe overbraked himself. Coming into the back here, it looks like Malone or Dismukes. Yep, that might have been Dismukes going off track there, yep. And then losing a place, or that might have been Heisner losing a place to Dismukes. I think that's what happened there, so let's see if Heisner can fight back and get that place against Dismukes. Again, really enjoying these battles here in D6 this week. Wow, I want to race here. Maybe someone can demote me. If anyone's listening as a race director, demote me to D6. I want to battle these guys. Really great racing. Really courteous racing among these folks as Dismukes goes wide. Let's see if Heisner can pick this up into the next corner and see if he's gaining anything on Dismukes. Still 0.8, 0.9 of a second behind. So Heisner really has to continue this push against Dismukes. But right now, Dismukes with, I think, my drive of the day, up into third place, pitted. So this is real time here, guys. Dismukes pushing from qualifying. Where was he in qualifying? If I can bring that up, I don't know. If someone knows, please ping me. But yeah, really exciting racing here of Dismukes and Heisner. Let's go down the order and see what's going on. Again, this is my battle. If you're driving between 15 and 19 in D6, you have the best race on track. I don't know what it is with this midfield, but I'm really enjoying these races. You can just see how these cars are continuously pushing together in a courteous manner. I love it. Let's see if Dutton can close up on Lindo here. Lindo, who's come from the back of the pack to 14th and pit. So Lindo, this is all for place. There's no more pit stops. There's only one pit stop ahead of Lindo as Wilkins, I think, spins out and something happened. Was that Lindo? Lindo spun out. Goes from bad to worse for Lindo. Was catching the rest of the group, spins out, and now has to recover again. I'm feeling for Lindo. His tires are cooked. He could barely control that car. Sad day for Lindo. Felt like that was the exact replica of my race last night. Sorry, buddy. Get him next time. Let's take a look at what Rimzik's doing here against Lorenzo. This is a great little battle. Again, 15th and 16th in order, but number one in racing here. 15th and 16th putting on a show. Let's catch up to these guys in a little bit. Let's look at Dismukes catching on Malone. Let's take a look at this battle. Dismukes in the green Porsche, Malone in the white Ferrari, car number 530. Let's see if Dismukes can close up the gap here. Looks like Nicolay took the stop and go. Let's see where Nicolay circulates once they're done with his pit stop. But we definitely see Dismukes pushing too hard into that first turn, losing racing line and dropping a few seconds back, but continuing on these tight turns in that Porsche, trying to overcome that distance to that Ferrari. I still give Dismukes a fighting chance for this race against Malone. Loving this racing. Both of those drivers pushing as much as they can in their machines to continue this race and maintain their positions. Let's switch to Nicolette for a second. Leaving the pits right now after serving that stop-go. Currently 14 on track. We'll have a lot of 15 on track. We'll have a lot of time to make up to try to make podium. Might be impossible for Nicolay right now. Really not a good outcome, unfortunately, for this driver tonight. But get him next time. And if it was that pit limiter, sorry to hear that. That really sucks. But let's take a look at Dismukes trying to close on Malone again. Right into the end of the curve on the back. Trying to catch Malone. Just can't get that Porsche close enough to potentially draft and make a move going into turn one. But let's see if Dismukes can do anything. Nothing doing up here up front for Dismukes. Ryan coming close to Heisner, still within a second. So Heisner still pushing there in third place, still trying to solidify that third place after losing a few places, I think, earlier in the race, but fighting hard. And we have Ryan in that Nissan again, I think, with fastest lap of the race, a sub 138, 137.7. So let's see what that Nissan can do as they're closing up on Heisner. There's some serious pace there. So let's see if Ryan can use that Nissan power to pass the Porsches and maybe ultimately the Ferrari of Malone. They're only separated by under 3 seconds. So Ryan's not out of this yet, especially given this tight battle up front. So I think the podium is going to come from one of these 4 drivers. Malone in first, Dismukes in second, Heisner in third, and Ryan in 4th place. As I scroll down the order, we got Thibodeau pushing on Lindo here. Again, now my pack is 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. If you guys are watching this real time and you have your own cameras, that's where the racing's at right now. Thibodeau losing a little bit, but we have Johnston and Mancini both within 1 second of Leung. Really pushing here. Definitely making Leung earn his 19th place. Loving this tight racing here. Let's see if anyone can do anything down this back straight. Definitely nose to tail. Maybe they've dropped Mancini a little bit, not much. Let's see what these cars can do. Out front, we have Thibodeau coming in to this turn side by side in the S's. That's not going to work. Keep pushing though, Thibodeau. I think you can do this. You're all over the back of Lindo. And then you can see my other group of 3 right behind them. So let's see what Thibodeau can do here. Pulling within 0.1 of a second all over the back of that other McLaren. McLaren versus McLaren battle. Different teams. Let's see what Thibodeau can do into the back part of this track. Lindo may have overcooked it a little bit going to this corner. Let's see if Thibodeau can make up this time and really push down the main straight all over the back of that car going into the final turn. Maybe not in the place to try to pass, but still gaining a lot of momentum. Let's see what Thibodeau could do. As Nicolay has not stopped pushing, has fastest lap of the race right now with a 1:37.3. Let's see with my Thibodeau-Lindo battle right here what's going to happen. Thibodeau just can't close that up. Same with Mancini, Leung, and Johnston. Still nose to tail right there, but no one's past each other as far as I can see. There was some change up front. Let me see what happened here. Well, let me see if I can grab a replay back for 60 seconds, see if we can capture what happened up front. This is a replay going on our screen. We have Heisner in 1. No, we have, who knows what we have. Let's see if we can figure it out. That looks like Malone in first in this replay. Then it looks like Dismukes, then Heisner. I think I missed the action on track. Unless this was it. This was it right here. Dismukes pushing Heisner. Malone wide, allowing Heisner and Ryan through. So this was 3rd and 4th, moving into 1st and 2nd. This Nissan, unbelievable here in Indianapolis. I'm going to move to Ryan right now. We saw Aoki last night in D5 come from 2nd place to take first in the Nissan. With 3 laps to go. Let's see if Ryan can do the same thing as Aoki here and pass Heisner. He's side by side with Heisner right now. Going into this turn, it looks like Ryan's taking the place. Let's see if he can hold it. Nope. We've got Heisner coming up on the inside. This is great racing here as the 2 cars go side by side onto the dirt. Let's see if the Nissan can really take it down the straight here and make a move on Heisner with that extra Nissan power. Let's see what's going to happen coming into the first turn. I'm going to switch to Helicam, see if we get a better view of these 2 cars here as they move into first corner. I've lost contact. I've lost connection. I've lost connection. I'm going to try to log back in. I've lost connection. What an exciting part of the race to lose connection.
Good evening, SRA Nation.
We're excited.
I seem to have lost connection. Servers have gone down. I imagine this is worse for the drivers than it is for me. So I don't know what's going on right now. And I don't know what happens if the servers do go down. I don't know what happens the rest of the race. But that was at the probably most exciting part of the entire race, where we had second place Nissan pulling up to the first place, I think it was a Ferrari. So that was really exciting. So I'm going to still give it to the first place Ferrari, I think, there. As the servers are died, it's almost like we red flagged this race. So thank you.